One thing I've really noticed being here with the students is that they are able to see problems in ways that they wouldn't be able to completely understand from a project prompt or even just an online meeting with clients, but they actually get to see the problem up front. They actually see that the problems here to be solved are quite different than the problems that we have in the US. Especially when we think about water, we actually don't think about water that often. We open the tap, drink as much as we want, waste as much as we want. But when students see how much effort it takes for people to obtain water here, it's a larger impact that the students are able to understand what this type of design work can mean for people's lives.
A lot of the times when you order water from a restaurant, in the US we just kind of get tap water, but we were really conscious to try to order bottled water every time because we wanted to make sure that the water was clean and safe to drink. And thinking about how that adds up every day, I didn't realize how much water I consume or use, and it made me think and be more conscious of what I take up space in.
Just from seeing the water tanks on people's roofs, the fountains that are all around, the enormous pumping stations that we saw, it's really interesting to see how they worked together to find solutions to their water issues by creating these massive feats of engineering, really. And it's just completely different and honestly a lot more exciting, a lot more engaging, and it brings a whole different aspect because not only are you learning the material about how to get water, how to purify it, you're also learning, again, how people interact with the water, how it shapes the culture, how the culture shapes your engineering solution, and how the society benefits from it.
Being in Mexico in person really helped me see the real effects of what was happening with the issues we were studying. For example, we saw buildings sinking and people's unique relationships with water. There is no way to convey those feelings associated with those experiences over a computer screen. I'm a huge art history fan, so seeing these old-timey buildings like churches and things start to sink and fall over felt really concerning. These people's histories were kind of at risk simply from the water issues associated with Mexico City. And that really emphasized how important it is to plan out where our water systems are going to be and how we're going to get people the necessities they need so that we are also preserving the land that we live on and the culture that we built there.
It goes with me every day, even when I'm filling up my water bottle. This question is in my mind, those pictures, those people, and also for me, it makes me curious to think about the root, the culture, and where this problems come from, fundamentally, not only from an engineering perspective. And that's also why this semester I started taking a class called Justice in the Food System to see the relations between human beings and nature, and also how people historically having these issues in many different ways.
Working with Isla Brana was very eye-opening because the recognition that we come in as outsiders entirely and we can't possibly know the full context of the problem.
The students are able to see there are possible design challenges there. There's things that we could help benefit the process through design while yet still preserving the cultural aspects. And because they got to get their hands dirty and do it, I think they understand the passion, the creativity, the culture that is embedded in these practices. But again, being immersed in the culture, being immersed in the community, seeing themselves as partners that are learning from the locals here is a really inspiring thing. I think the students have really latched onto that, and I think they're excited and passionate about not coming in and having the answers, but learning from others and trying to figure out solutions together in a collaborative way. It's really inspiring.
Seeing the situation in Mexico and then transitioning to Chiapas, I was able to see how cultural differences, societal differences really determine the efficacy of your engineering solution, because they have to be able to be used well by the people in the area. They have to be intuitive. So that was a whole nother aspect of the solution that I hadn't even thought about and had not been able to address in prior classes.
This experience that iSEED and studying abroad in general is very unique. I think there's a lot of components that you can't accomplish on campus just because, interacting directly with the community that we're doing the projects for, being able to directly interface on the hands-on level with people there. On campus, we're usually inside the hedges, a lot of theory, a lot of hard work, not to say that's unimportant, but there's just a different level of engagement when you're really out and about and talking to people directly.
It's different learning about a issue or a topic in class here at Rice University and actually experiencing what that problem is. You know, I had to live there, I had to boil my water, I had to be cautious of what I was drinking, be cautious of where it came from. You get so much more depth and like emotional experience.
There are so many cultures in the world that you're going to be able to experience so much more by going and living there.
You don't have to know the language to live there or like to feel the beauty in life.
Within the trip, we did a lot of cool things and saw a lot of cool things that I don't think I would have ever gotten to see or do. I think it's a great opportunity to really learn about another culture.
There's options to take these classes at Rice, but taking them in person also gave us the opportunity to build prototypes, test them on site, and really get involved.
There's opportunities to diversify your perspectives. We learned a lot here on campus, but there's so much more to see out there. At the end of the day, we come to campus, so we learn these skills in order to go out into the world and do our job. So it's important to know what the world looks like. I learned so much and I enjoy so much.